Dr. David Klee has over 30 years' experience as both a teacher of the flute and as a professional musician. He has performed in all kinds of musical organizations, ranging from classical orchestras to heading his own jazz group, the Jazz Express. With these Pro Minute video series, Dr. Klee will share some of his secrets with you on how to become a better flutist. Hello, my name is Dr. David Klee, and welcome to another Pro Minute video. Today we're going to look at the first Waltz by Gretchaninoff, and this can be found in the Soloist Folio for Flute, published by Rubank. So let's take a look-see. It should be coming up on your screen right now. It's marked tempo de valse. A tempo de valse is usually in 1. For a younger musician, maybe in a modern 3. Da, dee, do, 3, da, do, 3, da, do, something like that. That would be more than adequate enough. Okay, let's talk about what I just did there. So at the beginning, it's marked moderately loud, mezzo forte. So you want to make sure you follow the slurs. I think the measures 1 through 4 won't be a problem. Measures 5 and 6, again, 1 and 2 and 3, ya da da. Now the biggest thing to remember here for a young flutist is that you start out in your middle range embouchure, and by the time we get up to the end of measure 6, measure 7, and 8, now we're up into our upper range embouchure. And what is the upper range embouchure? It's more of that Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. When you started the song, you were in your lower range embouchure, which is like this. So you pull the lips back, you open your teeth, a little pinkies with, and this is how you play, in the first octave. When you get above the staff, your mouth has slowly gravitated to Winnie the Pooh. I get asked all the time when I talk about the 3 embouchures, which are high range, middle range, and low range. I get asked all the time about that. And basically what it is, your embouchure is gradually morphing as you play through the 3 octaves. It's not like you just automatically shift dink, dink, dink to them. You're gradually shifting. When you get from the lower range to the middle range, your embouchure's been shifting. And what you're doing, by shifting your embouchure from low range, middle range, upper range, you're changing the air angle. And that's how you play high, middle, and low. It's all due with the air angle coming out of your mouth. So measure 6, now you have E, C, A. I'm actually going ooh, ee, ooh. I'm doing just a tiny bit of Winnie Pooh on the E. When I get to the C, I'm more like this. Then when I go up to the high A, I'm definitely extreme Winnie Pooh. E, ooh, e, ooh. Okay, then when you get to measure 7, I pretty much, again, I'm in the upper range of the middle range embouchure on the G and the F, but then when I go up to the D, I'm very much upper range embouchure, so really make it different. So I'm so loose I could almost puff my cheeks, but you don't want to do that. Okay, so that'll take you through measure 8. Measure 9 and 10, 11 and 12, that should look very familiar. 13 and 14, very familiar. Same thing. Now, 15, 16, what do we have? Well, we have a dot a half note tied to an F quarter. So you definitely want to hold that full count. And the other thing is, it has a decrescendo, so we're getting softer. Okay? Now, with younger musicians, when they have to get soft as they're holding out a sustained note, they tend to go da. They tend to go flat. And the reason for this, they're breathing from their chest. They're not breathing from their diaphragm. And when you breathe from your diaphragm, there's a twofold win-win. First of all, you can take in more air when you breathe from your diaphragm. And then secondly, as I'm running out of air, I'm pushing from my diaphragm, using my muscles to push. And I can keep that air constant until there's no air. I'll demonstrate again. See how I kept the pitch pretty much constant. And I do it from my diaphragm. Okay. Now, measure 17, we have something called, I know some of you younger flute players, you'll call those arrowheads. What are those? Those are called accents. And an accent, I just put a little more energy into it. Ta, ta, la, dee. Okay, so that's how I would do that. Now, here, we're going down, by measure 20, we're going down to our low range embouchure. So I'm very much pulled back here, flat and firm. So I'm actually ooh-ee, 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 to get those 4 notes up between measures 19 and 20. What happens with a lot of younger flute players, they'll just use their middle range embouchure for all that. And they have all kind of problems getting that low G out, or they use the other embouchure, they use their upper range embouchure when they're playing in the middle and lower range. I've heard that many times. I've judged solo ensemble festivals for over 40 years. I've heard a lot. So what you want to think about is that 19 and 20, you're going from pretty much a little bit of the middle range to the lower range, to the middle range back to the lowest range, between the D, C, E, G. So your embouchure is constantly changing. D, C, E, G, D, C, E, G, like that. Okay, now measure 21. Here, you're in middle range. And then we get to measure 22. We're going back to our third octave embouchure, which is Winnie the Pooh. So I'm really Winnie the Pooh there, Winnie the Pooh. And then 23, 24. Okay? And a perfect way to tell if you're using the proper embouchure on a particular note is if you can play it softly. So, let's say measure 22, 24, a G. Can I play it soft? Yes. What that means is I'm using the appropriate embouchure. If you find out you crack or the note is jumping octaves, it's not being steady, you're not using the proper embouchure. Okay, now 21, 23, you have those accents again. So I'm thinking da, dee, da, da, dee, da. Just a little more weight. So I'll start at 21. Okay, now measure 25, there's those accents again, just like 17. All that should look very familiar. We just had it on 17 through 20. Now, 29, it's a little different. So, 29, 30, we have that. Now 30, 31, 32, we have another day crescendo. So I'm breathing from my diaphragm, I'm supporting from my diaphragm, and I'm able to play softer, but maintain pitch. Alrighty? And you want to make sure that when you stop a note, like the tied half note and the quarter note, you don't want to stop with the tongue. Dot, dot, because you'll hear that. I just stop the air, keep supporting from the diaphragm, da, and I do that. Alrighty, now 32, 33, it says diminish. So what we're doing, we're getting softer and softer and softer. And then by 35, we have a long decrescendo. So I'll start pick up to 33. Alrighty? Now, something I do on holds. Obviously, the pianist can outlast you. They have a sustain pedal on the piano, so they'll outlast you. So how do you know when you're both supposed to stop at the same time? Well, what I do, as a flutist, you're the leader, okay? You're the soloist, so you're the leader. The pianist is supposed to follow you. So what I do, I make just a little circle when I'm going to cut off. So like, okay? That's all I need to do. Make sure you cut off when you stop the air. Don't go and then do it, because obviously that would not be right. Okay, let's go to 37. Now 37, it starts out mezzo piano. We're back to tempo. It says alt tempo. But now we're mezzo piano, so we're a little softer. This is a return to the original theme from the beginning, but it's a little softer this time. So what am I doing already? Well, 37 all the way to 44, that's exactly like the intro. 45 all the way to 50 is just like it. But now when we get to 51, this is your ending. Okay, so now we have another decrescendo, and it says poco retard on repeat. What that means is, well, you're going to repeat this section. This section would go from the end of here all the way back to 17. Now, the second time you go through it, then you're going to slow that ending down. Now, since you don't have any movement, at 51, your pianist does. So your pianist will probably do like clunk, 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 whatever the chords are. Now, they'll do that. So the two of you will have to work that out. And it's possible, again, depending upon what the pianists have on measure 52, you may have to cut them off again. I don't remember if they have a piano part all the way on beats 2 and 3 of 52, or if their last beat is the first beat of 52. So I don't know. Alrighty, so, you got the decrescendo. I'm supporting for the diaphragm. I'm pushing from the diaphragm. And I can maintain my pitch where it doesn't crash and burn. Alrighty? So I think that'll get you through this. So it is a tempo de valse, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Something like that would be very appropriate for a younger flutist. If you're a little more advanced, you could do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Something like that. Ya da da dee da da dee da da da. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. So I think you're on your way. This would be a good one to play for solo ensemble or a little recital or even something for your church or your school. It'd be a fun piece to play. And so this is Dr. David Klee. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.